I'm Noreen Ferrante, and I'm a volunteer for U.S.-India Political Action Committee, U.S. Impact. U.S. Impact has been very active on Capitol Hill in influencing U.S. policy on U.S. LNG exports to strategic alliances such as India. From helping Congressman Ted Poe in organizing a hearing on U.S. LNG exports in April of 2013, to launching a campaign to spreading awareness and seek endorsement of Bill H.R. 2771. U.S. Impact's efforts are geared towards helping facilitate LNG trade between India and U.S. without any restrictions, and thus heralding a new era of energy trade between two countries. Amid the crises in the Ukraine, Congressman Gardner very appropriately took the initiative to introduce Bill H.R. 6, with the aim of reducing Europe's dependence on Russia for LNG. In a similar way, India too is dependent on the Middle East, a politically unstable region, for LNG imports. U.S. Impact's interview with Congressman Gardner will inform the Indo-U.S. community about the benefits of U.S. LNG exports to India and how the two countries can convert trade barriers to opportunities for economic growth and strengthening diplomatic ties. We're here with Congressman Gardner, and we're going to ask a few questions. You have been a champion for U.S. LNG exports, especially after the aftermath of the Ukraine crises. Can you discuss how you see U.S. freeing LNG importers from the stranglehold of countries such as Russia and the politically unstable ones in the Middle East?
What we have seen over the past several years, and in particular the past several months, is a determination by nations like Russia, who provide a significant degree of energy for nations like Ukraine, Eastern Europe, other areas throughout Europe, the Middle East, that they're using this energy now as a weapon or a tool to try to create harm for those nations' economies. So what we have the potential to do with significant U.S. energy production that's taking place is to displace that dependency on Russian supplies, so that we can actually produce the energy here in the United States, build up our LNG export capabilities, send that energy to nations like Ukraine, and thereby displacing the need to be reliant on aggressive nations like Russia.
Thank you. Okay. Excuse me. You initiated and sponsored Bill H.R. 6 this year to push for LNG trade with WTO countries and not just FTA countries. Can you elaborate for our viewers about this bill and how the passage of the bill could significantly expedite U.S. LNG exports to countries such as India?
You know, again, if you look at the United States production, we want to make sure that we have the best opportunities to help around the globe. And so we shouldn't be limiting that just to FTA countries, but how do we make sure that we can expand the opportunity to share in our energy partnership with other nations that are a part of the WTO, because it's a broader group of people than just looking at FTA nations. And so the ability to work with India, the ability to work with Ukraine, a lot of that will be determined by market conditions, but we don't want to restrict in any way the ability of getting LNG out to other nations in a way that the FTA requirement only might have done.
Okay. How do you view India as a partner for LNG trade?
India is a phenomenal nation, a vibrant economy. The people of India are truly innovators. I had the incredible opportunity to visit India probably about 6 years ago throughout the country, talking to people who wanted to do business, people who were starting their own businesses, people who were looking for trade opportunities with the United States. And so our trade relationship with the world's largest democracy and the world's oldest democracy really can be something that we can be proud of. And the fact that we could use the strength and energy of the United States to help bolster India's economy means good things for both nations as we continue to build a better trade relationship.
Okay. What are the benefits of trade with India?
The benefits of trade with India, of course, mean greater opportunity for the people of both countries, a greater opportunity for goods from India to the United States, enhancing consumer value in the United States, enhancing consumer choice and opportunity in the United States, creating jobs in India. As India develops a manufacturing base with a cheaper, reliable energy source from the United States, and of course the goods that we can receive from India can build new jobs and new economic opportunities here in the United States at home as well. So it really is a mutually beneficial relationship once we build up a trade and energy partnership.
Okay. What are some of the critical challenges you foresee in U.S.-India LNG trade, and how do you think the two countries can overcome these challenges?
I think one of the significant challenges we have in exporting LNG, of course, is the sheer capital intensity that's required to develop an LNG infrastructure. What do I mean by that? I mean that we have to build the facilities here in the United States to convert natural gas into LNG, to ship it to the ports, to get it to its destination, and then have the ability to receive that, whether it's India or Ukraine, the ability to receive that and make use of that LNG, turn it into a product that they can use abroad. So those are the kinds of things that take time, take money, take investment, take infrastructure. And it's not something that will be done in the next 24 hours. But the mere fact that we can send a strong signal to the rest of the world, to India, to Ukraine, and indeed to Russia, that the United States is willing to send our energy, to export our energy, to develop a world market as the energy superpower of the world, does mean a significant step for countries who are looking for greater certainty in their energy and greater economic stability.
What is your long-term vision for U.S.-India energy trade?
I think the long-term relationship vision between the United States and India really is the same as it is for our economy abroad. Our economy abroad as a whole, how we can build a strong partnership between the two nations, a strong trade partnership. Look, I remember when I had the opportunity to visit India, to talk to businessmen and women who were looking for more opportunity to trade, to build relationships, financial, economic relationships between the two countries. And so as we develop an energy relationship, as we develop the potential to send in energy to India and export LNG to India, and then I think it creates not only greater security opportunities for India from a geopolitical point of view, but also a greater opportunity to enhance the economies of both countries.
Okay. Do you have any message for U.S. IMPACT members regarding our efforts to influence U.S.-India energy policy? One
of the biggest surprises that I've seen is during this debate on LNG exporting is how much impact that voices around the world have had on this process. As we've heard from ambassadors from nations who really want the United States to begin exporting LNG, we've heard from business interests around the country, around the globe, who really want the United States to take the next step into exporting LNG because they realize that right now they're being held captive, so to speak, by energy interests that want to manipulate their markets, that want to manipulate their energy for their own domestic purposes, which hurts the economy and has a serious potential for the world economy to be hurt because of it. So I think the message that I have is keep your voices heard, engage in the process, because by letting your voices be heard, by weighing in on this issue, it sends a message to the policymakers in the United States that this isn't just an issue of the United States jobs and economy at home, but it has the ability to transform the geopolitical landscape as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah.